More details have been released as to why Molly Qerim abruptly quit ESPN. And when I say abruptly quit, I mean she left work, I think it was on Monday, and she never came back.
Breaking news in the sports media world, Molly Qerim, I believe that's how you say her last name, she is actually going to be stepping down from First Take today. Or she, at the end of the year, she was going to be stepping down as the host of First Take.
It's not every week the gears of ESPN, that juggernaut of American sports media, a machine that rarely so much as stutters, suddenly grind and eject one of its most visible faces. But that's exactly what happened in mid-September 2025, when First Take host Molly Qerim walked out the door. No drawn-out farewell tour, no champagne-soaked last day. Just, gone. 10 years in that chair, and then silence. The headlines came first, followed by the spin. ESPN leadership scrambled to slap a band-aid on it, with Burke Magnus hitting the press circuit parroting the same business as usual line. But behind closed doors. Panic. Nobody in Bristol saw it coming. Not at that speed. Not like that. Social media couldn't even pretend to buy the amicable parting narrative. The word abrupt was doing heavy lifting. Fans were left squinting at Molly's.
Also wonder, bro, like from a human perspective, Molly was your sidekick for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need to know she abruptly resigned.
Yeah.
Protect her at all costs.
Yeah.
That's my big thing, Social Trey.
I thought she was
Like,
here for the end of the year. I guess she's done now.
Remember, she didn't want it to leak because Molly ends up putting out a statement that, hey, it's unfortunately leaked. I didn't want it to, etc. But protect her at all costs.
Farewell post on Instagram, trying to decode the subtext. She thanked viewers for letting her into their homes. Called the gig an honor. Standard award show fare. But then, nothing. No details. No reason. No direction, and most jarringly, no mention of Stephen A. Smith. Not a thank you. Not a nod. Not a passing mention of the man she shared a decade of airtime with. For 10 years, they'd debated, bantered, and filled millions of screens every weekday morning. Now, complete blackout. That silence didn't whisper, it roared. Think that's overanalyzing? Ask Marcellus Wiley, the former ESPNer.
Yourself in 3 words.
Aware, thoughtful, and passionate.
What do you have too much of?
Shoes,
Guilty pleasure.
retail therapy.
What would you do if you didn't host First Take?
I would work for a global nonprofit or host a travel.
An ex-NFL lineman wasted no time torching the corporate narrative on his podcast. According to Wiley, this wasn't some graceful exit. It was a standoff, money and autonomy. Molly wanted a pay bump or the freedom to pursue other projects, ideally both. ESPN refused. Wiley said it plainly, she was done grinding for morning show scraps. And the relationship with Stephen A. cracking long before the exit. Wiley didn't mince words. If he had her back, ESPN would have made it work. But that support, apparently, wasn't there. And in Bristol, that's the golden ticket. If Stephen A. co-signs you, you're golden. If he doesn't, you fade. Even after steering their flagship morning show for a decade, Molly was suddenly replaceable. Loyalty, legacy, ratings. None of it mattered without the nod from the top dog. Wiley highlighted the cold math of it all. She's making less than analysts on shows that don't even crack First Take's numbers. He name-checked Mina Kimes, implying she's on a healthier contract while Molly was left haggling for fair footing. So what really happened? The PR statements might...
Remember, wasn't it just last week Stephen A. was on air bragging about the people he stood up for to get paid and how many, Cam, I did it for Shannon Sharp and I did it for this person and that person. And when I look at the abrupt, I'm not coming into work tomorrow.
Yeah.
That also is like, maybe there's pointing a finger at Stephen A. Smith.
Offer comfort food, but the truth is tangled in power dynamics, pay scales, and quiet fallouts. When the face of your biggest morning show vanishes without a send-off and the loudest voice in the building says nothing, that's not just a departure. That's a fracture. Through all the noise, ESPN's official stance remained eerily calm. Nothing to see here. No drama. No fallout. Just a respected veteran ready to turn the page after a decade on the mic. That's the line Burke Magnus and the brass stuck to the kind of canned messaging that corporate PR dreams are made of. According to them, this was just Molly Qerim closing one chapter and eyeing new horizons, but the reality didn't align with the script. Even Magnus had to admit, in a slip of honesty, the timing wasn't what we planned. Meanwhile, Qerim's agent refused